take the national prayer. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. Please let's have our seats. Thank you very much. Her Excellency, the First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, OON, CON. You're welcome, madam. We also have present here with us other state governors, as well as the wife of a governor of Kwara State and the chairman, Nigeria Governors Forum. Members of the National Assembly here present, Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, as well as other honorable ministers here present, our revered royal fathers, His Eminence Saad Abubakar, MNI, the Sultan of Sokoto, His Royal Majesty Oba Eniton Ogunwusi Ojaja II, represented by His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Olufolarin Olukayode Ogunsanwo, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, Ekpe, Lagos. Also here present, His Royal Majesty Alfred Nemeka Achebe, CFR, MNI, Obi of Onitsha. Also the CAN President, Archbishop Daniel Oko. Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and Heads of Foreign Missions, Chairman of the panel discussion session and Executive Vice Chairman, NCC, Mr. Aminu Wada Maida, the keynote speaker and Director General of NITA, Heads of Ministries, Departments and Agencies, Captains of Industries, Head of Program IDEA, Mr. Danladi Plank, Development Partners, members of civil society organizations present, our esteemed youths, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome you to this all-important event, the National Cybercrime Summit 2024, with a theme, Alternative to Cybercrime, Optimizing Cyber Skills for National Development. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, I'd like you to just put your hands together for yourselves for making it here today in spite of your busy schedule. I'll tell you this, the fact that you're here today is history in the making, and your names will be mentioned as part of those who stood up to be counted when it was time to chart a course for our nation, Nigeria. I'll not be doing this alone. I have with me Ojocho Kutami Eche, who's of course going to be working with me here today as we walk you through this all-important event. My name is Kayode Okikiolu, gentleman of the press, anchor at Africa's News Leader Channels Television, and it is my honor, I must say, to be here with you today. Without taking much of your time, would like you to please turn your attention to the screens on either sides of the podium as we show you a documentary just to let you know the work that has been done in the past 1 year of the chairman, EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede. It's been an eventful 1 year, and we have tried to capture that. So please, ladies and gentlemen, the video. Thank you.
October the 18th, 2023 marked the commencement of a new phase in the evolution of the EFCC. Ola Olukoyede took the reins as the 5th executive chairman of the commission. While his choice by President Bola Tinubu as EFCC chair took some by surprise, Olukoyede assumed office with clear ideas on the direction he wanted to steer the commission. At his confirmation before the Senate, he articulated a three-pronged agenda for the fight against corruption, which are using anti-corruption to stimulate the economy, professionalism, and the rule of law. His first step after assumption of office was to declare his assets and mandated all personnel of the commission to do likewise. It was the first signal that it would not be business as usual.
Every one of us will declare our assets. Let's start with that.
He soon followed this up with reform of the operational dynamics of the Commission, discarding the weaponization of bail conditions, as well as a review of the modalities for sting operations. The restructuring of the Commission under Olukoyede witnessed the upgrade of zonal commands to directorates, which are now led by directors. Two new departments were equally created, the Department of Security and the Department of Fraud Risk Assessment and Control. The latter is charged with reinvigorating the Commission's prevention mandate by proactively fighting corruption in ministries, departments and agencies. The reform-minded anti-graft Caesar Olukoyede also prioritized aggressive asset tracing and recovery. So far, a total of 248,750,049,365 naira 52 kobo, 105,423,190 $39, 53,133 pounds 64 pence, 172,547 euros 10 cents, 1,300 Indian rupees, 3,400 Canadian dollars, 74,859 Chinese yuan, 740 Australian dollars, 170 United Arab Emirates dirham, 73,000 Korean won, 70,821,375 West African CFA, 50 South African rands monetary assets were recovered. Also, a total of 3,455 convictions were recorded in the year under review. Part of the funds recovered by the Commission under Olukoyede has been invested by the government in critical sectors such as funding of students' loan and consumer credit schemes. The last 1 year also witnessed a review of some high-profile corruption cases, leading to the investigation, arrest and arraignment of some ex-ministers and governors. A number of serving senior government officials have also been investigated and charged to court. Olukoyede's passion and commitment to the anti-graft campaign has attracted global attention, with many international law enforcement and development bodies eager to collaborate with the Commission. For the first time in the Commission's history, a sitting FBI director visited the EFCC. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police was equally impressed by the Commission's efforts in recovering proceeds for crime for Canadian victims.
We are here today to witness the handing over of the assets recovered on behalf of the Canadian victims of cybercrime. And this has taken, the operations has taken a couple of years, and eventually it has resulted to substantial recovery.
Olukoyede, as president of NASEWA, is rallying the whole ECOWAS in fighting corruption and illicit flow in the region. He pledged to use the anti-corruption tool to stimulate the economy with no lip service. Earlier in the year, when currency racketeers brought pressure on the Naira, Olukoyede set up a special task force on the Naira abuse and currency racketeering. The task force went after illegal currency traders and racketeers. The effort complemented the CBN moves to shore up the value of the Naira. The Commission also launched an audacious campaign against Naira abuse, with both enforcement action and sensitization campaigns in the media. The arrest and prosecution of some celebrities sent a forceful deterrent message. While he has done well on all fronts, Olukoyede is still worried about youth's involvement in cybercrime. Some of the measures taken by the Anti-Graft Agency include the hosting of religious dialogue on cybercrime and the launch of interfaith manuals in January of 2024, fully integrated and broad-based sensitization programs for youths at schools and at different forums, therapeutic sessions with cybercrime suspects in the Commission's custody, signing of a memorandum of understanding with Flutterwave to establish a cybercrime center at the new EFCC Academy. Though Olukoyede is driving preventive frameworks against cybercrime and other acts of corruption, his works on enforcement modalities are also strong. To this end, several arrests, arraignments, and convictions of internet fraudsters have been made in the last 1 year. As a commission, it's obvious that the narrative has significantly changed. Fraudsters now know that it is no longer business as usual. The nation is feeling the impact, and the future appears brighter, both for the EFCC and Nigeria as a whole.
Please, another round of applause for that. Such laudable feats by the present chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede. We would like to recognize the presence of the Zamfara State Governor, Dauda Lawal. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have in our midst the Gombe State Governor, Inua Yahya. You're welcome, sir. Representing the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, we have here Senator Shuaibu Afolabi, and also he is the Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity. A round of applause for him. We also have the representative of the Speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. He is here right now, represented by Honorable Adedeji Stanley Olajide, Chairman ICT Cybersecurity, representing the Speaker. Please, a round of applause for him. And we also have, still from the Senate, Senate Committee Chairman on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, Senator Emmanuel Udende. A round of applause for him too. We have in our midst as well, Honorable Jinja Onwusibe. He is a House Committee Chairman on Financial Crimes. And also here represented by the acting national president is Mrs. Geraldine Ita Etuk. She's here representing the chairman and president, National Council of Women Societies in Nigeria, NCWS. Please, a round of applause for thank you very much for coming.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what better way to set the ball rolling than hearing from a man who is reinvigorating the EFCC. But just before that, I want to tell you a very short story. Just over 20 years ago, I stumbled on an A4 paper just like this, and it had lots of digits on it, lots of digits. I soon realized that they were credit card numbers. Now, this was a time that cyber cafes were new in Nigeria, so I saw it and I realized these are credit card numbers. And I mulled over it for a few days. I had heard that if you have these numbers, it can transform your life. But I kept it. I was thinking, back and forth, and then something remarkable happened. Someone very close to me took that paper and tore it, and I was very hurt. I thought, journey. So ladies and gentlemen, I am standing in front of you today not as a Yahoo, but as a media, channels, journalists, and that is the essence of this. Take away cyber crimes, take away cyber fraud, and give the youths something. And to push this further, I'd like to invite the man who is not only preventing or who is not only fighting corruption, but also staying ahead of it by preventing corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that this man has transformed the face of EFCC by bringing innovative ways to prevent corruption. So if your hands are not too busy, I'd like us to make welcome the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, as he gives us his welcome remark. Please, let's keep clapping as he comes to the podium.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, OON, CON. You're welcome, ma. Your Excellencies, state governors here present, particularly I'd like to recognize the presence of Zamfara State Governor. You're welcome, Your Excellency. I also like to especially recognize the presence of Gombe State Governor. You are welcome, Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, other state governors here present that I have not been able to see, members of the National Assembly here present, particularly like to, on behalf of the entire commission, to recognize the presence of the chair of the Financial and Economic Crimes and Anti-Corruption Committee, Senator Emmanuel Udende. I'd also like to recognize the representative of the Senate President here also present. I'd like to welcome the chair of the Financial Crimes Committee of the House of Representatives, Honorable Onwusibe as well. I'd like to welcome other members of the National Assembly here present. Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, I welcome you. Your Excellency, ambassadors and head of foreign missions here present, permit me to also welcome the revered royal fathers, His Eminence Saad Abubakar MNI, the Sultan of Sokoto. You are welcome, sir. His Royal Majesty Oba Enitan Ogunwusi Ojajatu CFR Oni of Ife, ably represented by Oba Ogusanwo. You are welcome, sir. Also, His Royal Majesty Alfred Naimeka Okagwe, CFR MNI, the Obioni of Onitsha. You are welcome, sir. I also like to especially welcome the President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Archbishop Daniel Okoye. You are welcome, sir. I'd like to also welcome the chair of the panel discussion for today, Executive Vice Chairman of NCC, Mr. Aminu Wada Meida. You are welcome, sir. I'd like to welcome all the head of service, all the service chiefs here present, all the head of law enforcement agencies, particularly, I think I can see my brother, the Comptroller General of Customs. You are welcome. Also, my brother, the Commandant General of National Civil Defense Corps. You are welcome. All other dignitaries here present, I'd like to welcome you. Captains of industry, development partners, particularly EU, representatives of EU, and ROLAC IDEA that have supported this project. Members of the civil society organizations here present, our esteemed youths here present, particularly all the youth corpers at Ajuwaya here present. I welcome you. Members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I feel immensely gratified to welcome you all to this important event, the National Cybercrimes Summit. Looking across this expansive hall, I must say I am moved by the impressive turnout of guests from all sectors and sections of the country. I am indebted to you all for answering our call to join this critical endeavor and this crusade to rescue our young generation from the stranglehold of cybercrime. Let me profoundly appreciate our mommy, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Senator Nuremi Tinubu, OON, CON, for graciously accepting to honor us with her presence as guests of honor despite our extremely crowded schedule. Thank you, ma'am. Our support and encouragement were instrumental in making this event a reality. I extend the same courtesies to all the excellencies, particularly the state governor's wife here present. I'd like to salute you, particularly the wife of the chair of the Governors Forum, Her Excellency Mrs. Abdulrazak. You are welcome, ma. I also like to recognize the wife of the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff. You are welcome, ma. I extend the same courtesy to the state governors here present and other distinguished guests who have traveled from all corners of our country to be with us on this significant national engagement. This occasion calls for sober appraisal and reflection of the state and circumstances of our youth, and by extension, the entire country. The menace of cybercrimes, like most economic and financial crimes, is a burning challenge that we cannot ignore, deny, or wish away. This summit is the second to be organized by this commission this year on the same issue, owing to the overarching need for us to articulate opinions and build greater strength against the scourge of cybercrime. This time around, we are not only interrogating the problems, we are aggregating workable solutions to it. What alternatives do we have for our youths? And that's where it has become imperative to bring the state governors, so that as we are tackling it at the federal level, subnationals will also have a role to play. The enormity of challenges posed to us as individuals and as a country by cybercrimes are grievous. As individuals, youth involvement in these crimes is distorting and corrupting acceptable family values. The tendency towards quick riches no longer positions our young people for enterprise, resourceful intellectual aspirations, and technological innovations. Projections by multiple sources show that the global loss to cybercrimes may reach a staggering $10.5 trillion. As a matter of fact, the research I did earlier this year confirmed that cybercrime has become the third largest GDP in the world, with approximately 2,328 cases occurring daily. The implication of all this is that if left unchecked, cybercrimes portend grave dangers to the entire world. Bringing it to Nigeria, in 2022 alone, Nigeria lost over $500 million to cybercrimes. These are the realities talking the Commission's fight against these crimes. Cybercrime accounts for a significant percentage of the 3,455 convictions recorded by EFCC in my 1 year as the executive chairman of EFCC. A significant portfolio of choice assets have also been recovered and returned to both local and foreign victims of cybercrimes by the Commission. We are not oblivious of insinuations and misconceptions in some quarters that the Commission is concentrating its operational works on the fight against internet crimes. While this narrative is not really true, the fact remains that cybercrime threatens the nation's most significant assets, its reputation, economic well-being. The losses by the financial services sector to cybercrime in the last 3 years is mind-boggling and staggering. We cannot continue to sit idly and watch the integrity of our institutions compromised and our youth degenerate into living lives solely dependent on crime. The future of our nation cannot and will not be allowed to hang in the balance. We must take collective actions against cybercrimes. Talking about alternatives to cybercrimes, there are ample skills that can be optimized for national development. It is this lack of serious cogitation on the alternative that has not made our youth shift their focus from criminal tendencies. In other words, if our youth can find something doing, engaging them, probably that will reduce the propensity to commit cybercrime. It is this lack of serious. First, there is alternative of creative and innovative development of socially beneficial applications that can deliver better prospects than internet fraud. Today's event is tailored towards exposing young Nigerians with strong tech skills to the opportunities that abound in various industries and sectors for legitimate wealth creation and honest livelihood. These opportunities can be found in creative industry, tech ecosystem, financial services sector, medical services, and even law enforcement. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I've shared once my encounter and my experience in the course of my work with a 70-year-old young Nigerian who was arrested for cybercrime. And I took interest in him and I engaged him. Why do you do this? I brought him to us. Why do you do this? And he told me because there's no alternative. He had to pay his school fees. He's a 100-year level student. So I just wanted to demonstrate, I wanted him to demonstrate his acumen, his proficiency. And I gave him my laptop. How do you do this? A young man. By the way, he's not even studying science. He's studying history. But you need to see the proficiency. He opened my system, and without giving him my password, he decoded my system. And I was there, shocked. I mean, this is not funny. That shows the skills that we have in Nigeria. And that was what informed this. This job can't be left to EFCC alone. It's a collective responsibility. And before you could say, Jack, he said, sir, which bank do you use? I said, no, I'm not going to tell you that. Don't come and demonstrate that in my office. Because the director was ready to probably go into my account and, he said, look, you will see me now, I'll move money from one account to another. And I said, no, don't do that. It's enough. I just want to know how proficient you are. And you could see that these are the stuff our youth are made of. And that's why I'm so passionate to ensuring that we deploy those keys to something that our nation will benefit from. We have reached a stage in our nation that necessity should compel a change of narrative from criminality to productivity, from idleness to usefulness, and cybercrime to cyber wealth. To this end, as part of our preventive research measures in line with Section 6 of the EFCC Establishment Act, the EFCC under my leadership is completing work on a cybercrime research center. And I'll plead with the media if they can just show us. We are building a new academy, and we are putting up a cybercrime research center in collaboration with one of the fintechs in Nigeria. It's a center that will take minimum of 500 young Nigerians at a time, train them in cyber security and all areas of cybercrime research, so that we'll be able to make something out of them. Those who are in school will come during the vacation, we'll place them on little allowances. They will be there. So from there, big companies can come and recruit people. This is what is done in countries where youth are encouraged. And this is what we have made up our mind to do. And I'd like to encourage the state governors to replicate the same gesture at the state level. Help us put technology hub in place in your state. If I'm doing for 500 per time, if you help me to do for 1,500, and that will complement, and if we're able to take 20,000 youths out of joblessness and train them in tech, I think that will reduce the poverty level in Nigeria. This is what I'm pleading with the state governors to help us do. The center, the product of collaboration with one of our foremost fintechs, Flutterwave, is envisioned as a learning, rehabilitating, and refocusing center for youths across the country. It could also serve as a research resort for law enforcement agencies interested in deeper understanding of issues involved in cybercrimes. Also in line with the corruption prevention mandate of the EFCC, we are establishing right now a cybercrime response desk that the First Lady, our mommy here, will help us launch today. Now, to receive and process real-time information on suspected cybercrimes for immediate enforcement action, to nip such cases in the bud. The initiative, in our estimation, will help in reducing incidences of cybercrime and possible losses of money by victims. I'd like to thank the European Union, through ROLAC and IDEA, for supporting this initiative. Your Excellencies, it is needful to state at this point that owing to the seriousness of the EFCC attaches to the need to break the stubborn fang of internet fraud. Staff handling such crimes are being trained and retrained to be abreast of and ahead of developments in the sector. We are ahead of the fraudsters, and we will continue to hone our skills to beat any syndicate operating on the internet with the aim of making illicit wealth and destroying our national economy. Let me use this opportunity to appeal to the conscience of our parents and head of institutions here present across the country, and to regard the fight against internet fraud as a compelling endeavor. The quality of the future leadership of our nation depends on what we do with the issue of cybercrimes today. Tomorrow is not a promise. Tomorrow is a fruit of preparation. We must all join hands together to tackle the hydra-headed monster which internet fraud has become. I cannot conclude this address without appreciating the vision, courage, and the sincerity of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in offering us free hand. If you want to clap for the president, you can go ahead and do that, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. In offering us free hand to do our work at EFCC. Mr. President has never interfered in the work we do. Rather, he encourages us to do more. We are blessed with a leader that has the best interests of the nation at heart. A testament to this is the groundbreaking initiative aimed at lifting the financial encumbrances to tertiary education for the Indigent True Student Loans Fund. It's a project that the president has put in place to help students to pay for their school fees and to give them stipends every month. And that has really helped us to fight corruption in Nigeria. Now, these are policy issues, things that we need to fight corruption. It's not only about the gra-gra enforcement. No. When we put policies in place that will help people to get out of poverty, that is one of the best ways to fight corruption. And that is what the president is doing. And also the consumer credit scheme that has reduced the pressure of coping with the inflationary trend by average income earners. We will continue to support these critical social investment programs and do what is right at all times, no matter the borders that may be put in our way. Finally, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everyone that has taken time to be part of today's summit. Our efforts should not stop at this end. I'd like to particularly appreciate my good friend, the Katsina State Governor, who just walked in. He has voluntarily given us a property to use as EFCC office. So he is on his own inviting us to Katsina. Why some of his colleagues are currently at the Supreme Court now, Our efforts should not stop at this end. We need to keep the flame burning. I also want to like to also, Your Excellency, recognize the support given us by the Ekiti State government. They have also donated a property to be used as EFCC office. I told him, I'm from Ekiti State. I can't be fighting corruption and my state will not have an office for EFCC. So he has voluntarily given us a property to use. So we are moving into Katsina and Ekiti very soon. I'd like to thank the Attorney General of Ekiti State, who is here present representing the governor. We need to keep the flame burning until we break the siege of corruption in our land. Thank you all for listening and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for the EFCC chairman, Mr. Ola Olukoide, as he makes his way to the seat. Before we begin the goodwill messages, we would like to recognize the presence of the Katsina State Governor, His Excellency Umar Diko Rada. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have in our midst the Director General, National Orientation Agency, Malam Lanre Isaunilu. He's here personally. Please, a round of applause for him as well. We have in our midst the Director General, NTA, represented by Sadiq Musa, Executive Director, Engineering. Sir, you're welcome. Also present is Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR Controller General of Customs. Please, a round of applause for him as well. And that's not all. We have in our midst Ms. M.M. Usoro, Deputy Governor, Operations, Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Please, a round of applause for her as well. We move straight to the goodwill messages. Now you see that the EFCC is doing so much, especially under this administration. And we thank God that the president, just as the chairman has said, is not interrupting at all. Rather, he encourages the EFCC to do their job. Moving on to the goodwill messages now, the Minister of State will give, please will really implore you to keep to 5 minutes. If you can give us less, we'll really appreciate it. The Minister of State Youth, Mr. Ayodele Olawande, is here personally, and he will come up here to give us his goodwill messages. Please, a round of applause for him as he makes his way to the podium.
Good afternoon, His Excellency, our mother, our grandmother, the mommy that has been to our heart so much, the First Lady of Kwara State. I start from the mother side, so the governors show our apology, but you know they are my mother. They are the one backing us. I get all the governor present. I use the digital farmer governor of Niger State as point of contact. I stand on all other existing protocol and I say, well done, sir, the chairman of EFCC. The youth of this country, fine, we will have the bad, the good, and the ugly. We will have what we call youth restiveness. We have some of us that believe in apparently what they do, which is wrong. And we are coming from a place whereby we see Economic and Financial Commission as an agency that is against us. But let me say this. We have made up our mind, and we have said we will reduce the cybercrime in this country. And how do we want to remove it? It's not about all these reduce. It's not about the bombarding of house, doing all those stuff and all that, but bringing up initiatives, ideas that we encourage a lot of young people. We go through different areas, telling them that, see, we know, we believe, and we've heard your voice. The government, for the past years, have been far away from the young people of this country. The government and the young people cannot see the government. They cannot feel the government, and they cannot touch the government. But the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have bring the government close to every young people in this country. And we say it, majority of those people that engage themselves in cybercrime are in the school. 40 million Nigerian youth are students. The president said, I will give you a student's loan. Again, I will give you a stipend so that you can hold on a monthly basis. We won't stop on that. We will try as much as possible to take you to where you don't even want, like we will give you CNG buses so that transportation from your house to the school will be fair. Any student that is serious-minded, that knows what he's doing, and that really wants to do better and really wants to put things on a stable, we know that this is enough, even to calm things down. And the NAS, myself, ourselves, and a lot of organizations have put this sensitization because we believe that what we need is re-engineering our end. What we need is aggressive engagement so that a lot of people that have done this on the platter of they know, we readjust and adjust. The EFCC have come and they have come to stay, and we have made up our mind to support them. When people said that it's because of hardship, fine, there's hardship. Even when we were growing up, there is hardship. Me that I'm standing in front of you, a son of Doman that becomes a minister, it's a product of the hardship that you have worked at, even in the hardship. And we have already made up our mind that if we can do it, if the president can bring it down to us, we will do everything in our power to bring the government closer to the people. And in engaging all the young people, it will make sure, even as at this morning, I just left Bauchi State, all the things we are trying to do is for them to feel this government, to see this government with the initiatives, with the digital idea, the 3MTT, the NIA, the super. We can engage a large numbers of young people. And the EFCC have done it so well. It has never happened before that planning, engaging to have a digital training center in mostly every other state that gave them the platform to do it. I was in his office even 2-3 months. He called me and we engaged. And everything that we have been doing is how we are going to make sure that the competency in this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration to show clearly we have the characters. We can meet the people. They are our people. The Nigerian youth are not criminals. There are good news that can be said about Nigerian youth. That we are hardworking. We have the can-do spirit. Even when the things are down, we have the spirit to hold it to ourselves. We are promising you as a body that we will do everything in our power. We will do everything that we can do to make sure that the Nigerian youth is with you, and we are ready to work together in this system. We will make sure that we start the campaign that we started at Eagle Square the other time. We will make sure that we go to every route and corners of the 774. And let me thank Mr. President for approving a youth house. A lot of people said, what is a youth house to us? We said a youth house is one. We will have a youth house in Abuja that every young people will go. Even if you are jobless, please go there. Go and put it down. We want to know those people that are unemployed. We are partnering with NDE, we are partnering with ITF and others to train, upskill, and even put those people that have no skills and said, now it is time for us to hold this country. Nobody will come and do this country for us. Nobody will come to our doorstep and change the life of this country. We are the Nigerians. And there is no hope from anywhere. The renewed hope is here. Let us key into the Renew Hope agenda from all aspects. And that is what EFCC is preaching to us. Thank you, and God bless you.
The Minister of State for Youth, Mr. Ayodele Olawande Wisdom. Thank you so much. We have the largest demographic represented here today, so I just want to do our usual routine. So when I say Copper We, you know what to say. Are you ready? Copper We. I can't hear you. Copper We. One more time. Let's try this again. Copper We. There you go. Let's put our hands together for not just the future, but the present of Nigeria, the youth. Thank you so much, guys. I love the outfit. I wish I could serve again and collect the alawi. It's over 70,000 naira now, I hear. Don't worry, it's coming. Thank you very much once again. We've since had the pleasure of the presence of the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, joining us. Please let's put our hands together for him. You know, true and lasting success is never the product of individual effort. Never. It's a result of collective work. And to just show how much this needs to be a collective effort, I'd like to bring to the podium for his goodwill message the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, just to show you that the states also have a major role to play and to give us a picture of what the states will be doing. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please let's make welcome the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, for his goodwill message. Let's put our hands together for him as he steps to the podium. Come on, please let's keep clapping. Thank you very much.
I'm the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON. The governors of Gombe, Zamfara, Katsina states, the First Lady of Kwara State, our host, the chairman of the EFCC, representative of the governor of Ekiti State, the honorable ministers and all members of the Federal Executive Council here present, the Sultan of Sokoto, Your Eminence, the Oni of Ife, represented by Alara of Ilara Kingdom, the Obi of Onisha, the service chiefs here present, the wife of the CDS, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press. Copper We. Copper We. Very good. I commend the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for organizing this important summit. I thank Mr. President for the political will to strengthen institutions of nation building. This gathering has brought different perspectives on the issue of cybercrimes. We have heard subject experts and people with lived experiences offer their insights on this subject. These insights will go a long way in our search for a workable paradigm against crimes. In line with this, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we need to integrate our cultural legacy and the impact it may have on the perception of crime. I'm impressed with what the EFCC, the NDLEA, and the National Orientation Agency, amongst others, are already doing in the new media and in our basic schools to reshape the minds of our young people on the issues of crime, drug abuse, and patriotism. This effort should be taken to another level so that we may have a national consensus on what behaviors constitute our irreducible cultural legacy as Nigerians. You have our support in this regard. In addition, we commend the EFCC on the efforts they're making by putting this gathering together once again. And I'm sure after this summit, we'll all leave here better informed and geared towards improving the perception on cybercrime. Once again, I congratulate the EFCC for initiating this important conversation, and I'm confident the outcomes will strengthen the national campaign against cybercrime. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for the Chairman, Governors Forum of Nigeria, His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak. Please, another round of applause for him. That is not enough. Thank you so very much. Before we call the next speaker up, would like to identify the presence of Dr. Imumotimi Agama, Director General, Secretary and Architect Sonny Echono, and Mr. Harris Obole, SAN. We also have in our midst Mazi Afamosigwe, SAN, NBBA, President of the NBBA, and Brigadier General Buba Marwa, the Director General of NDLEA, CEO and Director General. We also have Stephen Emelieze, NBA Chairman, Abuja Branch. Please, a round of applause for all these people. It's such a great honor to have them representing their organizations here. Here in our midst also is Stephen Emelieze, NBA Chairman, that's correct, and also Philippe Crespo, Interior Secretary, Attaché, Embassy of France. Please, a round of applause for them. Now, the importance of traditional leaders cannot be overemphasized. We cannot do without them. When I was in school, we went for an organization just to talk to students. We went to the village, and we made a very, very grave mistake. We didn't go through the traditional, ruler, and it was a very bad one for us. And since then, I learned my lesson, and we said we cannot do without our traditional rulers. And that is why we're bringing up His Eminence Al-Haji Mohammed Saad Abubakar, the 20th Sultan of Sokoto, for his goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for him as he makes his way here. We need them. EFCC needs them, and EFCC cannot do without them. You're welcome, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Your Excellency, the First Lady, the Mother of the Nation, the Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, my distinguished colleagues and brothers, the traditional leaders here present, and also the religious leaders here present, especially the President of CAN, our own children and grandchildren, the youth, for whom we're all here for. So this is your summit. We as elders and fathers and grandfathers, we have done our own, we have seen it all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency, the First Lady, your presence here means a lot to the youth in particular. As a mother, grandmother, as the mother of the nation, that shows the serious nature of what EFCC is doing today by inviting all of us to be here this morning. Let me first say how delighted we are to be invited to this program, this National Cybercrime Summit. I'm particularly encouraged by the large number of youth that are turned up for this very important program. Today, as you are all aware, IT skills are one greater asset that any country can boast of. Some of you may be aware that in 2014, India, which does not have crude oil like Nigeria to export, made more revenue in exporting IT software than what Nigeria did in exporting crude oil. So, those of you with these IT skills represent a strategic asset for our great country. India has used its IT skills not only to bring huge revenues to develop the economy, but also used to dominate the Silicon Valley, as you are all aware. IT skills represent the future fortunes of countries, and therefore represent, as the youth, the future wealth of this country. So the burden also on our shoulders. As we had this morning, you are not just the leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of today. And that's why we're all gathered here, for your sake. Unfortunately, some youth with IT skills have used these skills to commit cybercrimes, use the skills very negatively. This has very serious consequences for the youth, not only for the youth, but also for the country itself. First, the criminal activities eventually, the criminal perpetrators will eventually be caught, no matter how long it takes, and will lose all the fortunes and their names they think they have gathered. So the deficit level is much more than what you think you have gotten at the mature time you think you are rich through criminal activities, because I'm referring to the youth. He or she that creates a trust deficit for our great country, it will affect its rating in international communities and diplomacy, and also the big business, all of which will affect the future of our country. It is the youth, once again, that will bear the brunt of all this, because they are the ones, the upcoming generations. These negative consequences must be realized. So cybercrime is detrimental, very, very detrimental, not only to the individual youth, but also to the collective interests of the young people across the country. We have no reason to embark on such atrocities. Any temporary pleasure a youth might enjoy in cybercrime is short-lived, and what follows after is a lifetime of regret, shame, and humiliation. We have had these three words, the youth: regret, shame, and humiliation. It is simply not worth it to embark on this type of crime. On the other hand, these skills held a great promise for youth that are patient and ready to build a sustainable future. Digital skills today create a vast opportunity for entrepreneurship, innovation, which in turn provide broad scope for youth employment. I'm glad to note that EFCC has considered these digital skills as treasured national assets and has recognized the strategic value of our youth and therefore embarked on the urgent efforts to provide our youth the opportunities to deploy these digital skills for that benefit, as well as the benefit of our great country. By empowering these youth to build our economy and salvage our image as a nation, the EFCC is creating a momentum for the development of our country, where youth with digital skills will provide the lead. This is both refreshing and reassuring for our youth and for the future of our country. I wish to call upon the youth, and I'm sure not only the youth here, but those listening across the country, of this great country, to seize this opportunity to deploy digital skills for building their future and the future of our country. Let me urge the youth of this country to take time to study the histories of those countries they admire today, because these countries, they will discover that these countries were built by the labor and sweat of their youth, motivated by certain core values of hard work, honesty, and justice, dedication, and perseverance. We, as leaders of the traditional and religious institutions, have a responsibility to remind you about the role of values in human society. No society can grow and excel without promoting these core human values. We also, as traditional and religious leaders, would like to emphasize that we bear additional responsibilities at the moral vanguard of the struggle. We must appreciate the fundamental fact that Almighty Allah is pure and will not accept anything impure and corrupt. We must seek all that is good and decent for transformation of our great country. Let me seize the opportunity to appreciate the EFCC chairman, Ola, who have brought so much passion and dedication to this great work of checking and stemming the tide of corruption in this country. His special consideration for the youth of this country, as evidenced by this effort to provide the youth with alternative avenue to use their digital skills to build their future, is particularly commendable. Ola, well done and keep it up. But for this fight to succeed, this type of program must be taken to the states in collaboration with the governors, traditional and religious institutions, so as to create clubs in various tertiary institutions, so that we know that, yes, this thing doesn't end in Abuja here. We must continue and continue and continue. So, Ola, we are ready to partner with you, to support you, and we'll do our best to make this country a better country. We have hope in this country, and I can say it, I've said it so many times, I'll keep on saying it. We will never, ever lose hope. This country will be a better country, inshallah. At the end of all the struggles, we turn out to be much, much better than we were. We thank you most sincerely. We thank the mother of the nation. Keep on the good fight, and inshallah, this country will be better. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And what better can you have from a father than his blessing and his support? Please, once again, let's put our hands together for His Eminence, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, CFR MNI, Sultan of Sokoto. Thank you very much, Your Eminence. But guess what? We have more blessings and more support from our royal fathers. And it is my pleasure, my honor, to welcome for his goodwill message the Obi of Onitsha, His Majesty Igwe Nemeka Okochukwu Achebe, for his goodwill message. Please let's put our hands together for him. We have a lot of royal blessings this morning, so please let's put our hands together as he comes to the podium for his goodwill message. Thank you.
Your Excellency, our First Lady, Mother of the Nation, Your Excellencies, our governors, the Chairman of EFCC, our host, my royal brothers, Sultan of Sokoto, and others who are present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I just realized on arrival here that I have to give a goodwill message, but I'm also under the protection of the MCs because they said speak for 5 minutes or even less. So I'll try and speak for even less than 5 minutes. But on a serious note, I'd like to congratulate the EFCC for setting up this summit. The objectives resonate very well, and I'll come back to that. But also express gratitude to the partners, EU and other partners of EFCC in mounting this program. And it's very, very appropriate to do because cybercrime is now international. And I'll come back to that. Technology, particularly ICT, has made the world a much, much, much better place. I think we all agree on that. But because also ICT because it provides the information superhighway, it also creates opportunity for the socially deviant people to exploit it for crime, which is why we're here today. ICT crime, cybercrime, which is an international business in every manner, because information technology has also broken down physical barriers of countries. So you can stay in Nigeria and commit a crime in China through the internet and so on. Therefore, cybercrime must be attacked at 2 levels. At the international level, through cooperation and participation, as we're here today, with EU and other organizations supporting Nigeria, and Nigeria supporting other countries in identifying their own criminals who are in Nigeria, as presented by on the profile of our chairman. But more importantly, at the national level also. And the Sultan has spoken about the need for values reorientation. It resonates very well with me and my own community. At the national level, values reorientation is very, very important. And I'll come back to a little effort to make it in my own community. The family level, our religious institutions, our traditional institutions, our schools, everywhere the message of restoring our core values, hard work, honesty, belief in God, and all of it must come together. Without restoring our values that have been distorted, everything we do will not be sustainable. And then, of course, we have to expand the economic opportunities for our youths. There are youths who are educated, they've gone to school, but don't have relevant jobs and so on. They get frustrated. I think the chairman referred to that in his address. We must create or broaden the economic base to generate opportunities for our youth who are very, very vibrant, very active. If you go anywhere else in the world, in America, Britain, Europe, everywhere, our Nigerian youths are leading, and leading very, very well. We just had a Nigerian young lady made the head of a college in Oxford University. Okay, so we've got to create opportunities here for them also. Very, very important. And talking about creating opportunities and values orientation, I'd like to share briefly our own little community effort in Onitsha. 5 years ago, we set up what we call the Onitsha Advancement Foundation. It is registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, which means we have to give full accountability of our actions. We've got leadership training, we've got basic entrepreneurship training, but also have ICT training. And our ICT training program has produced a few of our young people, boys and girls, who are earning very good salaries everywhere else, and so on and so forth. And this is our own little effort at the community level because we believe that sustainability will also ultimately grow at the foundation level, at the community level, etc., etc. And I'd like to invite you, Chairman of EFCC, to come or to send your people to see what we're doing and see how you can collaborate with us to grow wealth at the local level and grow up our children and so on. On that note, the statement by the Honorable Minister for Youth resonates very well with me and with my people. And I'd like to have a chat with you on that. Because there's nothing we do in Onitsha today that does not involve our youth. It is their time, and we've got to recognize that they have abilities. Sometimes when you say youth, people think of, 20 years from now you can take over, etc., etc. In every aspect of our life. In my own cabinet of chiefs, I've got several young ones there, and they are among the best, in terms of the ideas they can generate and the effort they can put in. So, without taking more time, and I hope I haven't spoken for more than 5 minutes, again, I'd like to congratulate the EFCC for this program. I'd like to congratulate the chairman for his leadership, and we met informally at a co-signature hotel, and since then he has stayed in touch with me, and I've stayed in touch with him. And I'd like to congratulate all the partners who have supported the program today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Once again, please let's put our hands together for His Royal Majesty, Alfred Nemeka Achebe, the Obi of Onitsha. You can tell that His Majesty is tech savvy. He approached the podium, he unlocked his phone and read everything from his phone. So it's not just the young people that are tech savvy, our royal fathers are also tech savvy. Please, once again, let's put our hands together for them, for championing that cause. Well, we have more blessings from our royal fathers. I did tell you that it's one of the best things you can get from your father, a blessing and the hand of support and fellowship. And representing His Royal Majesty Oba Eniton Ogusi Ojaja II, the Oni of Ife, is His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Olufolari Olukayode Okunsanwo, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, Epe, Lagos. Let's put our hands together for him as he steps to the podium for the goodwill message.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our very own distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON. I would like to also recognize all the executive governors here present through the Kwara State Governor and the chairman of the Governors Forum, as well as the wife of the First Lady. I'm the wife of the Kwara State Governor, for all the First Ladies here present. I recognize my own constituency, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, the Obi of Onitsha, His Eminence, the chairman of CAN, and the chief host of today, the EFCC chairman, Mr. Olanipekun Olukoyede. I'm standing in here for His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi, CFR. It gives me great joy to be here today to witness what is indeed a pragmatic shift in our approach as a nation to combating cybercrimes, which represents a major departure from the traditional method of fighting the crime. It is no longer news that yearly, several billions of dollars and thousands of gifted and creative youthful minds are lost to the menace of cybercrime vis-a-vis the toga and negative stereotyping often experienced by responsible and law-abiding Nigerians due to such acts. The painful and unintended consequences of acts of cybercrimes, which are oftentimes fatal, goes beyond the legal punitive measures against the individual perpetrators. Without mincing words, the truth is we all suffer overt and covert consequences of each act in ways and manners beyond comprehension, but only left to the unpleasant experiences of both direct and indirect victims. Today's gathering, therefore, which is occasioned by the ingenuity of the indefatigable Executive Chairman of EFCC, deserves commendation and gives us an opportunity to, one, prevent cybercrime before conception and stop illicit cybercrime recruitment in its tracks. Two, harness the wizardry and the unique set skills of our teeming youth population. Three, provide direction and practical solutions on channeling such skills through employment and entrepreneurial opportunities for the export and local use of these skills. Four, strategically engage and co-opt our youths as worthy and interested partners in the fight against cybercrime. And five, to sanitize and maintain the integrity of the entire cyberspace ecosystem for development and creative purposes. Given the wealth of experience of the speakers here present, I have no doubt that a new day beckons and justice will be done to the topical issues raised. It is, however, important to note that the real work starts after this all-important conference and deliberations. The need to have in place an implementation team with a timeline that will work out processes and modalities with the Ministry of Digital Innovation, galvanize youth groups, traditional institutions, the corporate society, and the media is imperative. We can indeed turn this negative vice around as we seek through this conference credible and honorable alternatives to cybercrime. I salute and appreciate the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his unalloyed commitment to building a better Nigeria for us and the next generation, and our very intelligent and resourceful First Lady, distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, who has a passion for women and youth development and has continued to champion initiatives in this regard while building bridges across the country with a large heart for unwavering support at all times. On behalf of His Imperial Majesty and the co-chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, let me also congratulate the Executive Chairman of EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, and all Nigerians for this laudable initiative, and assert here that you have the total support of the Traditional Council in charting this new path by partnering with stakeholders as well as providing leadership and support for the successful implementation of this initiative. God bless Nigeria, and thanks for listening.
What What a blessing. Please, another round of applause for him. What a blessing. Truly, just as my colleague said, such blessings this morning from our royal fathers. That was a representative of the Oni of Ife, His Royal Majesty, Dr. Olufolarin Olukayode Ogunsonwu, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, Ekpe, Lagos. Now, we bring up here for his goodwill messages the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Archbishop Daniel Oko. Please, a round of applause for him.
Your Excellency, Mrs. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the mother of the nation, and I dare say the grandmother, as some of the people have said. In the church, we say that you are the mama that pampers us. We're indeed grateful to you for being present in this particular program. Your Excellencies, the governors here present, Your Eminence, Alhaji Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, the royal fathers here present, the chair of EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, the Nigerian youth here present in this hall, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the national headquarters of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, and warmly felicitate with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on the occasion of this timely national summit on cybercrimes. As we gather here today to address the menace of cybercrimes, I commend the EFCC for its unrelenting efforts geared towards combating financial crimes and protecting Nigeria's integrity both at home and abroad. Cybercrimes pose significant threat to our national security, economy, and the very fabric of our social lives. And I feel very much encouraged by the actions and the efforts of the present chairman of EFCC, our dear brother. The number of times I had in fact, in him I see a genuine, committed Nigerian who is committed to doing great works that will turn around the fortunes of this nation. And even this morning, in my conversation with him, he reassured us that he does not experience any kind of executive interference in his work. And that, again, cleared away our fears that he may probably not have free hands to run the organization. But now that you have the free hands, we know that you will do even much more. We are proud of you, and we pray that you will succeed in your fight against financial crimes. The Christian community recognizes the importance of ethical conduct and responsible behavior in all spheres of life, including the vast digital space in which we all operate. We emphasize the need for individuals to uphold moral values, including integrity and transparency at all times. In this regard, the Christian Association of Nigeria continues to urge religious leaders to give strong moral leadership in combating this crime by showing examples of contentment, honesty, transparency, and accountability in their private
and public lives. This national summit is a crucial step towards equipping stakeholders with knowledge and strategies needed to combat cybercrimes. Consequently, I urge participants to engage actively, share expertise, and foster collaborations that will further strengthen Nigeria's cybersecurity and, by extension, our national security. As a people of faith, we commit to supporting initiatives that promote those timeless values as honesty, transparency, accountability, compassion, contentment, and dignity, and to collaborating with the agencies and knowledgeable individuals in this battle so that Nigerians will enjoy safety and security that fosters sustainable development. The fight against cybercrime is a battle that must be won, and must be won in record time. I am therefore hopeful that this summit will grant Nigeria a major breakthrough in the fight against cybercrime, so that all of us will feel safe and will also feel proud that we are Nigerians and we are capable of taking our country to the next progressive level. I'd like to, at this time, thank again the First Lady for being present and for showing motherly care to the young people. Your presence here reassures the young people in this hall that they have it tomorrow. And from the Christian community, we continue to pray for the young people. We continue to engage the young people, and we will continue to give you support, because if we say that young people should not engage in crime, then we must give them alternatives. And I'm happy that these alternatives are coming in this particular summit. And we pray that our young people will embrace these alternatives that are being presented, so that they will be more hardworking and the image of Nigeria will continue to improve. On this note, I pray for the success of this summit, and I pray that God will continue to bless our country, Nigeria, and grant us prosperity in the name of Jesus Christ. I thank you for your kind attention.
The President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Archbishop Daniel Oko, thank you so much for that. While it is cheery to hear that there's been no executive interference in the work of the EFCC, I'm sure the chairman will want some spiritual interference, because the quantum of work ahead will definitely need some spiritual backing. And that is why we have a CAN president speaking on this and promising the support of a church in this fight against corruption. Thank you once again. We'll now move on with the speed of light with the goodwill messages. We have just about 3 to wrap up now, and it's my honor to welcome the Secretary General of the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, Professor Yakubu Ochefu, for his goodwill message. Let's put our hands together for him as he approaches the podium. Professor Ochefu, please. It appears Professor Ochefu may have just stepped out for a moment. So let's move on and get the goodwill message from the chairman of the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, that's Credit Corp, Otumba Aderemi Abdul. Otumba Abdul, are you with us here today? All right. Well, last but not least is the head of program IDEA, in person of Mr. Danladi Plang. Please let's put our hands together for Mr. Plang for his goodwill message, and then we'll have the European Union ambassador designate for the goodwill message. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Plang, please.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic, Your Excellencies, governors that are here, Your Excellencies, members of the National Assembly, Your Excellencies, our traditional rulers that are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's always very difficult if you're asked to speak as the last person, especially when traditional rulers and elders have spoken. It's difficult to say something that is different from what they would say. But permit me, on behalf of International IDEA, our Regional Director for Africa and West Asia, to commend the efforts of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for organizing this very important event. And I join those that have spoken earlier on to say that we are strongly behind you to support you in this endeavor and all the other work that you are doing to fight economic and financial crimes and corruption in Nigeria. As has been said earlier, cybercrime is not a Nigerian problem alone. It's a worldwide phenomenon. And with the digitalization of various economic and social sectors, in recent years, it has led to an unprecedented increase in the collection and analysis of data. And because we use technology which offers us very easy ways and convenience for information transfer and storage, especially in the cloud, it has also increased the attention of criminals. And that is why we have cybercrime. Therefore, as technology progresses and our reliance upon it has escalated, cybercrime has also intensified. It has been said earlier on that we have a very large population of young people. They are not just young, but they are very versatile in the use of technology. The skill has been used negatively in various forms, including in digital financial crime. This has not only given the country a bad name internationally, but also a significant threat to our financial system. Not just financial crimes, but also other forms of crime, like child pornography. While we acknowledge the effort made by the EFCC and other law enforcement agencies in fighting crime, perhaps the rethinking of our crime-fighting strategies is very important here, running away from the traditional approach of arrest, trial, conviction, and sentencing into prison. By refocusing other ways and channeling the energies of young people in the use of technology, we will strengthen our crime-fighting strategies and response mechanisms, and at the same time create more legitimate opportunities for our young people. But we need to make this effort very conscious and very deliberate. It will not necessarily be something that is ad hoc. This summit, therefore, offers us an opportunity to help increase public awareness on cybercrime and strengthen our legal and policy measures. I'm happy that this is not going to be all talk, but also action, given the fact that as a first step, the EFCC will today be launching its Cybercrime Rapid Response Center. The participation of our royal fathers is also very important. This is going to be a community effort, and I'm happy to also hear from the Nigerian Governors Forum that they will be supporting this process as well. You know, sometimes when you read our newspapers and you see some of the stories, you will wonder whether we are at war. The last time we read in the papers that the governors have taken EFCC and other anti-corruption agencies to court. But I'm happy to hear from them today that they are willing to support and partner the EFCC in this effort. I think the challenge I will throw to the chairperson of the Governors Forum is that we need to hear and see very concrete commitments and efforts that will be made. I think the chairman of the EFCC has thrown one challenge, that if it is possible for us to establish innovation hubs in our various states, it will help in driving the process for engaging our youths better. Lastly, we commend the chairman and the staff for convening this summit because of its timeliness and its relevance. For us as International IDEA, like I said earlier, We will continue to support this effort, not just on cybercrime, but other crimes as well. We believe that your success is the success of the country, and if you fail, the country fails. So we'll continue to support you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Head of Program International Idea, Danladi Plang. Now, Your Excellency, First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, guest here present, we go to the very last but not the least to give us his goodwill message. I'm talking about the European Union Ambassador Designate, His Excellency Gautier Mignot. Please, a round of applause for him. Okay, seems like His Excellency, European Union Ambassador Designate, is not here present with us.
Indeed. So what we'll do now, thank you very much, is give you a peek into one of the major things happening here today. As was said earlier on, this is not just about talk. There's a lot of action that will play out here today. And you may have noticed the red ribbon and the white board to my right, just standing there conspicuously. What is this about? What I'd like to welcome to give us an insight into that, the head cybercrime section of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, ACE2, Dane White. Just give us a brief insight into what the Rapid Response Desk, which is 24 hours, is all about. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Mr. White as he steps to the podium. Just for the next 2 minutes, he'll give us an insight into this. Thank you.
It is my privilege to introduce to you the EFCC 247 Cybercrime Rapid Response Center, otherwise known as the EC2R2, which will be launched here today. This center represents a significant step forward in the fight against cybercrime in Nigeria. In most recent years, the digital landscape in Nigeria has expanded rapidly and bringing with it unprecedented opportunities as well as new challenges. Without a doubt, cybercrime has emerged as a major threat to our nation's financial stability and social well-being. The statistics are quite staggering, as Nigeria reportedly loses 250 billion naira, which is equivalent to $500 million annually to cybercrime. These losses stem from various malicious activities, including online fraud, phishing, identity theft, attacks on the financial institutions in the country, as well as the national IT infrastructure. And in response to this growing threat, the Commission has, in collaboration with the European Union and International IDEA, established the EC2R2. This center is designed to serve as an incident response hub, attending to the general public in real time on complaints relating to cybercrime and cyber-enabled crimes. The center is established to receive complaints from all states across the Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones via dedicated call lines and email addresses. We have also set up a special number for receiving complaints from outside the country in recognition of the global nature of these crimes. Our primary goal is to significantly reduce the time between the incident reports and our response to these reports. This center is prepared to tackle a wide range of cybercrime, including business email compromise, identity theft, the much dreaded and recent sextortion, cryptocurrency investment fraud, otherwise called pig butchering, local bank account takeovers, WhatsApp takeovers, ransomware attacks, amongst many others. But beyond its reactive capabilities, this center is positioned to serve as a hub for research and development, where we will tirelessly work towards identifying new cybercrime typologies and profiling the best practices by way of solution to combating them. Ladies and gentlemen, the launch of this center marks a new chapter in our fight against cybercrime in the country, and also in our commitment in protecting the Nigerian digital space, as well as the activities of our citizens online. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, we did tell you that this is history in the making, the beginning of, well, a different future for the fight against corruption. And to do us the honors of this launch this morning, would like to please invite Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, and the Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to first launch the Rapid Response Service, and then we'll have the message from the First Lady. So just before the First Lady gives, yes ma'am, we'll launch it first, and then we'll hear from the First Lady, please. So Chairman, please through that step. Thank you, Your Excellency. So the Chairman and the First Lady, please, to do the launch. Thank you very much. So, this is what we'll do. We're going to, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Officially, it's been launched. The 247 Rapid Response Service Desk of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. So this is live right now. It has local numbers and international numbers that you can reach the EFCC. So ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier on, this is history in the making. Let's put our hands together for the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. This indeed is a beginning of a new beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Senate President are ably represented here today by Senator Shuaibu Afolabi Salisu. Also, we have the representative of the Speaker, Honorable Adedeji Stanley Olajide. The Senate Committee Chairman on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, Senator Emmanuel Udede. Honorable Ginger Onwosibe, House Committee Chairman on Financial Crimes. The Governor of Kwara State and Chairman, Nigeria Governors Forum, His Excellency Alhaji Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, CON, and other governors that are here, Zamfara State Governor, His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal, Gombe State Governor, His Excellency Mohammed Inua Yahaya, and Governor of Katsina State, His Excellency Governor Diko Umar Rada. The First Lady of Kwara State and Chairperson Nigeria Governors Wives Forum, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Olufolake Abdulrazak. members of the Federal Executive Council here present, including the Honorable Minister of State for Youth, Honorable Ayodele Olawande Wisdom, and representative of Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy here present, the President of DIPOA, wife of the Chief of Defense Staff, Mrs. Ogogo Musa, and other heads of paramilitary organizations. The Executive Chairman and our host for today, the Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Olanipekun Olukoyede. Our traditional rulers here present, particularly His Eminence, Sultan Mohammed Saudu Abubakar, CFR, Sultan of Sokoto, the Obi of Onitsha, His Excellency Alfred Unaemeka Okagwe, CFR, His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife, represented here today by the Alara of Ilara, Oba Olufolarin Ogunsanwo, our religious leaders present, led by the CAN President, the Most Reverend Daniel Oko, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and heads of foreign missions here present, the DG of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Mr. Kachifu Inua Abdullahi, and other heads of government agencies and parastatals. The Acting President of National Council for Women's Society, Mrs. Geraldine Etuk, and other members that are here, captains of industries, development partners here present, vibrant and able youth, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I thank the Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Olanipekun Olukoyede, for the invitation to this crucial summit with the theme Alternatives to Cybercrime, Optimizing Cyber Skills for National Development. This theme resonates deeply with the current challenges encountered not only in Nigeria but across the globe. Cybercrime is not just a crime against individuals or businesses. It is an assault on our collective integrity, our economic stability, and the future of our youth. Therefore, I'm honored to join in this conversation aimed at seeking solutions to this lingering menace. As we gather here today, we are confronted with a pressing reality. The digital age, while offering unprecedented opportunities, has always exposed us to new vulnerabilities. It is therefore crucial that we address this challenge head-on and explore not only the harmful consequences of cybercrimes, but also the sustainable alternatives that can redirect our youth towards productive and positive endeavors. I am informed that thousands have been arrested, prosecuted, and convicted, yet there is still no indication that the number of those involved is decreasing, with young people accounting for more than 60% of the population. The involvement of youth in cybercrime is a threat to the nation's quest for economic development and stability. Combating cybercrime requires a multifaceted approach that involves various stakeholders, including parents, law enforcement agencies, educational institutions, the private sector, religious leaders and traditional rulers, business leaders, communities, and the civil societies. It is crucial that we emphasize and entrench the culture of hard work, rooted in honesty and dignity of labor among our teeming youth. In this regard, parents play a pivotal role in raising and guarding their children and wards to be God-fearing, inculcating in them good values, morals, and a sense of patriotism. Immediately I was given the invitation, I thought that I have to involve two groups of people, and I'm glad that the third group, which is the National Council for Women's Society, are here today. That is the chairperson for the, thank you, the chairperson for the Governors Spouses Forum, and also DIPOA, the leader of the Wives of Service Chiefs. So I know they have very crucial role to play as well, because we mothers, we have a great influence on our children, and is what we instill in them. In later years they exhibit. And if we continue to be parents and making sure that we are into their businesses, not that they won't make choices. I'm a mother, and like the Minister of Youth started that, I'm also grandma. I received that, and I thank you with that. But still we have a lot to do, because we are the first, the children's first teachers. So what we do really matter. And our religious leaders that are here, I'm a Christian, and I see a lot of prosperity teaching. I'm going to call out the youth minister today, being a teacher too, and your grandma. It was late. One of the things, I don't care about anything in life, but for me, time is very precious to me. People don't know. It's the most expensive commodity you can get around. I'm 64 years old now. I can't be 20. So if I really messed up 40 years of my life, there's no way I can get it back. So what I do, like I was telling him, I said today, I feel very, very strong to get up, but I was up as early as 6 today to get ready for an event that, is anytime I get here, that's when it's 10 o'clock, but I won't take that for granted. So, and these are values instilled into me by my parents. We didn't come from much, but there are a lot of values they put into me, not to be covetous, not to be greedy, not to envy people, and that really matters a lot. But a lot, and now, thank you, now with the teaching and even in our churches about prosperity, you can't prosper without hard work, without honesty. So there's no, there's no fixed, a fixed set of values to that, than for you to work hard and make sure that you are honest in what you do, because at the end of the day, there's always a repercussion. So I have all these women here so that we can also translate it when we get to our various states, for the wives of governors, and also for the wife of the chief of defense staff, to take it to their various barracks. I know during campaign, I used to campaign for myself in the day. We go into the barracks and I see a lot of activities going on. And I believe in all these places. And National Council for Women's Society, they also have presence across the state. So this is for you as well to take back. It is crucial that we emphasize and entrench the culture of hard work rooted in honesty and dignity of labor among our teeming youth. In this regard, parents play a pivotal role in raising and guiding their children and was to be God-fearing, inculcate in them good values, morals, and sense of patriotism. Bond of trust and understanding should be created between parents and their children, and to allow for open communication whereby their fears and insecurities could be addressed. It is very, very important for parents to have that relationship. Not that don't let your children be afraid to tell you what they want to try. No matter how difficult, even if you see it's not even good, go along with them. Let me go with you and let me see what you have to do. Be their friends. That's how I've raised my children. Not that they won't go out and make their choices, but they know where I stand on this. So we don't let them go. We keep supporting them. Even when they fall, we try to pick them up. Don't be judgmental. Try to love them through until they find themselves. As a mother, I am of a strong opinion that it is of utmost importance to instill in our children and youth the essence of ethical and religious values. The Holy Bible in Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up your child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it." Parents must model responsible behavior themselves. We must take proactive steps about renewing and redirecting the minds of our youth towards productive and honest living in our daily interactions with them, and always be present. We must always bear in mind that Nigeria is all we have. Hence, the need for all to work towards to sustain the glory of our nation. As pointed out in the scriptures, that the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. This is in Ecclesiastes 5:9. When I first came across this scripture, it blew my mind in the essence that whatever is here, Nigeria, whatever we get from Nigeria, that's where we all eat from. So it's very, very important that we have that in mind, and we can't really abuse the commonwealth of our people. As leaders in our various endeavors, we must realize that the Commonwealth of Nigeria is for all of us to benefit. Hence, the need to assist and guide our youth to engage in positive online activities rather than resorting to cybercrime. We cannot risk the dangerous possibilities of having many of our youths and creative talents excluded from active involvement in national developmental efforts. Criminal conviction has grave implications, as felons are denied some rights and privileges under the Constitution. No economy can thrive if its most active and talented youths are sold to crime. At the level of the government, the current administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR is not oblivious of the challenge of youth involvement in cybercrime. Efforts are already being made to address this situation. In his national broadcast on the occasion of Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, the president announced plans to convene a national youth summit. Without preempting the agenda, I can say with certainty that some of the issues for discussion today will feature in the summit. Also, through the Renewed Hope Initiative, which I chair, we have empowered women and youth through trainings and grants for small businesses, scholarships for undergraduates, and other social investments. To our youth, the choices you make today will define your future and the future of Nigeria. I urge you to choose honesty, integrity, and hard work, as it truly paves the way for lasting success. At this juncture, I want to appreciate the efforts of the chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, and his team for the zeal that they have shown in the fight against corruption over the last 1 year, and the renewed commitment to curb cybercrimes in Nigeria. I say well done, sir. I formally declare the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission National Cybercrime Summit open. I thank you for your attention, and God bless our youth. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And before I get down, I'll tell a little joke when the EFCC chairman invited, asked to see me at the residence. I was like, what did I do? God bless you. Thank you.
Her Excellency, please would like to crave your indulgence, ma. Please do not go just yet, because you are not just the mother of the nation, you are now the grandmother of the nation. So we'd like to take some pictures with you. So I'd like to invite the chairman of the EFCC. All right, not just the chairman of the EFCC, also the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and his wife. Please step forward. Also take pictures. Oh, yes, yes. The minister National Assembly members, but first we'll have our traditional fathers here present. All right, so we can have our traditional fathers join us. The CAN president as well, the Christian Association of Nigeria president, kindly join. Oh yes, please, our executive governors, please join as well. The governors of Gombe, Katsina, and Zamfara, right after this. All right, so we have to expand it. The governors of Gombe, Zamfara, and Katsina, yes. All right, we'll have to thank our traditional rulers. Please, you can have your seats, your royal highnesses. Thank you very much, and CAN chairman. Now let's have the governors of Gombe, Zamfara, and Katsina. They will be playing a major role in this fight against cybercrimes, optimizing cyber skills for national development. Then right after, we'll have all our VVIPs in the front row join in, if they have not joined already. All right, thank you very much. Just a final one. Would like First Lady to please stay. The chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, please stay. And his wife, please don't go just yet. The chairman of the EFCC and the minister of, you can't go minister. But thank you very much. So we'll have the First Lady, the chairman of the EFCC, chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and his wife, and the Honorable Minister of State for Youth, please. And right after this, we'll also have the heads of law enforcement agencies joining here today. Yeah. So please come forward. Thank you for keeping our nation safe, our roads safe, our borders safe as well. So kindly join for the pictures.